Alright, you got a special then. I think I'm going to do 3 videos. Um, Second video today, I finally saw Everything Everywhere All at Once the other day. I think it was yesterday, actually. Well, 2 days ago, technically now. It's after midnight. And, I thought it wasn't bad. Um, you know, it had a nice message, don't get me wrong. And it was funny. I didn't know it was going to be funny, and I appreciated the comedy. It was good. I mean, I thought that the whole thing with the guys trying to shove the things up their ass. Sorry for youngsters. There's a part of the movie where it's like that's done as like a random act to help them warp universes or whatever. Thought that was a little crass. I'm not really into the whole. I mean, it was kind of funny anyway. Definitely messed up. But it was entertaining, creative. I'll definitely give him credit for making a movie unlike any I've ever seen. Acting was good. I liked the main actress. I thought that the daughter wasn't as good as the main actress, the older woman. She was good. The daughter just kind of seemed like I don't know. She didn't have the same gravitas that the main actress did. The main actress really was excellent. Um, the husband's character was kind of one dimensional. You know, Few people are really that nice in the world. I consider myself a nice guy, but I have my dark side too. That character was almost it's kind of like, I mean, there are people like that in the world. There are people like that who are loving, and he was there to serve a purpose, which was to illustrate the courage and bravery of those who try to be good and kind in opposition to all the um, you know to all reasoning for doing that, I guess, or as a way to put some good things into existence. But basically, it's not what I want, how I wanted to say it, but basically, what I really wanted to get at here, the reason why I'm talking about this movie at all is because sort of there's this sort of end conclusion that it's that love is worthwhile enough to make existence worthwhile. And this is a common theme. Humans love to repeat this, especially in media, popular media. That love will save the world, and that love is all you need, and if it wasn't for love, where would we be, and what would be the point of everything if there wasn't for love? And I hate to be my usual, um, glass half empty kind of guy. I don't hate to be that, actually. I probably revel in it. Um, I hate to give a strong dose of scientific reality. Maybe not scientific reality, but I guess I'm just saying that um, you know there's a possibility that love matters, but it's no guarantee. I hate to say, there's no guarantee that love does matter. Uh, you know, I mean, yeah, we all exist. So without some amount of love, you know, love between us, then existence would be pretty horrid to deal with, generally. But it's not like existence is here, as far as I can tell, it's not like we exist to do anything particularly, Whether or not we love, each other, um, doesn't really have any material effect on, the long term outcome. And that's kind of like, that sort of that feeling is expressed in the movie with the everything bagel with everything in the universe on it. It's sort of this empty void because nothing seems to mean anything. Nobody really knows what's all the point of this stuff. It's all a mystery, and everything we find out, that's what they say in the movie about existence, seems to make us less and less significant, you know more and more small. And I mean, I appreciate the movie trying to grasp onto the idea that, well, love is enough to make to make existence worthwhile in the face of that, you know in the face of the entropy of the universe, I guess you could say. But this isn't a science. The movie doesn't make any kind of a scientific argument for this. The movie makes an emotional argument. And how often are humans right when we rely on emotion to make decisions? And the answer is barely at all, if ever. Emotion, making decisions through emotion is not the way to ensure that your decisions are correct. A lot of people would say don't make emotional decisions. You get really angry, don't make decisions based on that. You get really depressed, don't make decisions by that. You get really happy or excited, don't make decisions based on that. So, this conflation of the emotion of our love of love with that it has some eternal meaning, you know, that it somehow has some significance, that it really matters. I mean, it's a nice thought, and I guess it's gives us a reason not to be assholes to each other. But in the absence of heaven or hell, in the absence of an afterlife, especially, in the absence of a future for humanity that somehow goes on forever, which it certainly doesn't seem like we will be, then love is nothing more than a survival mechanism. That's what it is. It's designed so that we don't kill each other, that our species lasts some period of time. And without love, maybe our species would be even shorter lived than we are today. But that doesn't mean it has any cosmic, transcendental meaning. And humans, I think, would love the idea that it does. And we're constantly trying to will our love of love, our the what's the word? We're constantly trying to will the idea that love is sacred into. We're trying to manifest that idea into existence. But you know, you want to know how I feel about manifesting? I tried to manifest myself into a great musician. I tried to manifest myself into having a nice, comfortable life. Maybe not comfortable, but at least getting by doing something that I actually enjoyed. Getting by doing something that I believed in. You know, I tried my best to manifest that into existence. I started too late. But I did it. I put a lot of effort into it. I mean, maybe not as much as I needed to, but the bottom line is, I was left with nothing for that. All my love, that was love right there. My love of music, my love of my wanting to give back. I loved the music I heard. I wanted to give something back to the world of music. But the world of music, the world at large, they didn't give a crap about my contributions. They didn't encourage me. You know, I didn't have any success. My music wasn't really heard. The music that I did make that was heard wasn't particularly appreciated. You know, my love is evaporated into thin air, and what am I left with? The embarrassment of being a failed musician, the embarrassment of having nothing to fall back on, no other skills. I'm left with no dream. You know, I don't have a dream anymore. I'm left with a life stretching out in front of me where I cannot be a successful musician because I'm old and because the standard for what makes you successful in music is to be young and beautiful and attractive and to be a celebrity. And the music's become about celebrity. It's not even about the love of music anymore. It's not about creating something that's new and different and exciting and that gets people excited and brings people's spirits up. Now it's about It's about selling an image. Music is about what's cool. I don't know. I mean, I guess that the modern idea of what music is, what young people listen to these days. Maybe it makes them feel good on some level, I suppose, but I don't know. I don't believe in it. I think it's shallow. I think it's like today's music stars are like watching the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or watching. You know, I mean, it's not inspired. I don't know. You can say, this is where I was going to make another video about music, but I guess I could say really quickly, people like to think, oh, well, music, there's nothing objective about music, and it's just whatever, gets people, whatever makes people happy. But, I think that you're lying to yourself if you think that there's no objectivity to music. Because, you know, I could have my niece play something on guitar, and she tries her best, and she puts love into it, and she wants to sound good, but she doesn't know how to play an instrument. She just strums away and sings a little off key, and it's cute, but you know she is not Beethoven. There is objective truth there. My niece is not as good of a musician as Beethoven. That is an objective truth. If you can admit that there is an objective truth like that, then you can also admit that some musicians are better than others. And you know, ever since I think rap came around, especially, people have been more concerned with the image, the attitude, the confidence, the style, the identity of musicians rather than, you know, the actual content of the music. There's always been a little bit of this, but it's gotten to the point where, for the most part, people have stopped trying to do things that are original. People have stopped trying to do things that really push the limits, stretch your mind. So anyway, I mean, this is a long tangent, but basically, going back to what I was saying, I tried, all my love that I put out into the world, nothing came back to me from it. I didn't receive any love in return for the love that I put in. You know, it evaporated. All I'm left with is some mediocre skills on the piano and the drums and the bass. I can play a little bit of bass, I can play a little bit of drums, I can play a little bit of piano. I'm not great at any of them. Um, and no one's gonna care about my music. I could make 10 albums, 100 albums, and no one's gonna listen to them. I'm old. I'm in my 40s. People don't care about music made by people in their 40s. Society has deemed me no longer capable of becoming a successful musician. You can try to say, well, why don't you just put it out there, do whatever? Well, the odds are highly against me, and and I don't really want to be a successful older musician anyway. But all I'm saying is, this is just an example of, love isn't always great. Love can lead to dysfunction. You you love the wrong person, it can screw you up for life. If things don't work out. Um, you know, love when it ends. Whether by death or by choice, it hurts. It's not good. You know. What about the Jeffrey Dahmer's father? He loved his son, in spite of all the murders. How's that love? Is that love universally good? Can you say that there's nothing wrong with Jeffrey Dahmer's father loving his son despite the horrific acts? Doesn't that love seem kind of perverse in a way? I don't know. I mean, I don't know, I guess, Jesus would say, you hate the sin, love the sinner or whatever. If you're gonna go in the religious way. But does it matter that the dinosaurs loved each other? There was dinosaur love. They had babies. Maybe it wasn't as complex as human love, but dinosaurs are gone. Neanderthals. There was Neanderthal love. It's a little bit closer to home. There's still a little bit of Neanderthal in us today, but Neanderthals for the most part are gone. There was other subspecies of human, I guess. I forget what they're called. They're gone too. They loved each other. Does their love mean anything anymore? What does love mean when everything is eventually, uh, you know, destroyed? When everything gets destroyed in the long run. Just because something existed once, does that give it meaning? Because we loved once, even though the long term broad outcome is doesn't seem to be related to that. Is there any relation to where we are now uh, from the dinosaurs loving each other? All the species, large, massive species that have gone extinct in the past. Did their love mean anything? Does human love somehow mean more than animal love? Does human love mean more than the love of a bee? How a bee loves pollen? I mean, I don't know. I guess all I'm saying is humans like to romanticize human experiences, make them into larger than life type of phenomena. And most of the time when we do things like that, it just feels like we're so vain, we're so full of ourselves, that we want to believe it's just another sad, pathetic grasping at some kind of meaning in life. And, I think there's this very deep need to believe that somehow what we do matters, that somehow, you know, the silly plight that we our day to day fucking BS drama that we go through. People really want to believe that it matters somehow, And I think it's just when it comes to this stuff, I think it's just desperation. It's another reminder of how weak we are and how powerless we are in the face of a universe that doesn't really seem to care about us. It doesn't give us any signs that anything we think or do means anything. There is no acknowledgement of us from the universe. We are here in the void, you know, going through the motions, keeping ourselves busy until the day we die. And it's a hard thing for us psychologically. So over and over again, we try to come up with these ways to make it seem like somehow, there's meaning in what we do. And I think the biggest one of those is this whole idea that, oh yeah, love is the answer. Love is the reason why we're here. They give all these types of things. Love is what makes the world go around. Stuff like that. Look, love is a great thing for humanity. You know, and it's better than not having love. That's for sure, certain. But you know, we doth protest too much with this love business. Bigger a deal we try to make it, the more it just seems to me like we're just desperate. We're desperate to, cling to something, in a world where we're doomed in the long term. It makes us. I don't know, I just think it makes us weak. If you just face up to the fact that it's nice, but we shouldn't be making these grand proclamations. So I don't know. I guess bottom line is, as far as the movie goes, it's a pretty good movie. If you want to believe that love means something, then I guess you'll like it more. I'm too cynical. I'm too jaded. I've seen all of my hopes and dreams go down the toilet. I worked so hard for something that didn't happen for me. I put so much effort into something that just is sort of evaporating into nothingness, you know. And when that happens, it's hard to romanticize love. And when you see all the love that you have, you know, the love that I could have for, you know, a woman who would appreciate me for what I am, you know. I consider myself for the most part an ethical person. I'm not the greatest guy in the world. You know, maybe I'm a little lazy. Maybe I could work harder, but I have so much more love to give than the assholes that most women throw themselves at. You know, I'd be such I would love women so much better than the guys that they go for. You know, I think I would anyway. I don't have any proof of that, but I think I would be a lot more loyal. You know, I would be a lot more empathetic. Um, you know, I'd make a great boyfriend. I'd make a great husband. I'd make a great father in a lot of ways. But my love is not to be returned. You know, my love is to be put out in the universe to evaporate. Just like with music, you know, any I don't know. I guess that's a choice. You know, I guess I just don't feel like the love I'll get in return for my love is going to be worth it. You know, I have to believe that the love I'm getting back is going to match what I have to offer, and I just don't. I guess the bottom line is I don't believe that it will be matched because I don't trust humanity to love in a selfless way. You know, most love is not unconditional. You know, every now and again you see it, but it's rare. Finding it is difficult, and um, you know, so difficult that the search is almost futile, and you're much more likely to find a flawed love that will not last than you will a love that will last a lifetime. And for that reason, just based on the odds, I choose not to search. I'd rather stay alone than end up with the type of love that isn't good for you, the type of love that hurts you, the type of love that puts strain on you, that taxes your resources, it makes you, that forces you to sacrifice. I don't want to have to sacrifice for a love that isn't worth it. And you know that's because I've seen, you know, through my music attempts to be musical, to send my love out into the world that way. I've seen what it means to have sunk costs that you know, of love that don't lead to anything. I don't want to repeat that, you know, with a woman. Most of the love I have to give is going to go to my family and friends, and even then, you know, my family and friends don't reciprocate that love either. So why should I believe in love? Why should I believe in love when the people I love the most, you know, they don't care as much about me as I do about them? I love my cousin. When I talk to him, he talks about his problems. He doesn't care about my problems, you know. He might vaguely mention something and ask me, hey, you know, how's it going, whatever, you know, what's going on, you know. But he spends the vast majority of the time talking about himself and his problems and his dreams. He doesn't really care about me. You know, when we talk about making music together, he's much more interested in doing his music. He talks about wanting to do my music a little bit, but you know, his actions speak louder than his words, and his actions are he wants to get everything that he wants to play, all the covers he likes to play, he wants to get those down. He doesn't want to play my song. Same with my other cousin. I was in a band with my other cousin. We learned his songs. I was happy to learn his songs. I showed that love. Did I get the love back? Did they want to learn my songs? No. He didn't want to learn my songs. He didn't care. He cared more about himself. Is he here right now? He loves me. You know, we hang out when he's around. But I'm not a priority in his life, as I've said in another video. People don't make me a priority. I offer a lot of love to people, and they don't want to make me the priority that I want to make them. So why am I to believe that love matters when all the love that I give out is in return? You know, the love that I gave to music, to making something beautiful, to giving something back to a world that had given me so much joy. That's ignored. No one cares. You know, I wasn't encouraged. Um, People told me to stop. You know, I went to music college and they said, "Sorry, Your love isn't good enough. You know, that's what happened. And I don't think my love is good enough. You know, I put an honest effort, but sometimes, when you don't have the right talent, the amount of love you can put out in the world in a musical form is lacking. There's some people that are born to put their love out there in that way. I'm trying to figure out another way that I can put my love into the world. But it doesn't feel as if the love that I have to give is going to amount to anything significant. It's going to evaporate. And that's how I think most love is. I think most love is a transitory thing. Is that the right word? I think so. Most love is conditional. Most love is temporary. Most love carries the same kind of entropy that you see with all other things in the universe. So yeah, on the whole, it's a decent movie. I think it's probably the best movie in a while. I will say that. I mean, it's not like I didn't really resonate with the deeper message, which is that love is worth it enough for existence. Because I'm jaded and cynical based on my life experiences. But if you like that message, if you like that, if you buy that desperation of humanity, that desperation to create meaning out of our sad, pathetic little lives, then go for it. Go see the movie. But just realize that in all likelihood, um, you believe these things because you're desperately afraid of what it means to be immortal. And you don't want to face up to the fact that there's a very real possibility that everything we do uh, amounts to basically nothing in the long run. That's not to say that I know that, but my experiences have told me that. I guess I'm happy for you if your experiences happen. You can believe those things, but I think it's just a matter that you got lucky and I didn't. And if love relies on luck to exist, then how valuable is it really? Okay.